What if the bravest thing you could do would be to be vulnerable, to let down your walls, open up your heart? And if that was the key to living your life fully and freely, to having the life of your dreams? That is what this Aries full moon is asking us all to do. And I'm going to get into that in a moment. I just want to welcome you to the channel if you're new. Welcome back if you're returning. And today we're going to be talking about the upcoming Aries full moon. But this message is actually timeless. So if you find it after that, still feel free to listen because I think it's going to be helpful because it really does tie into a lot of the astrology that's happening towards the ends of 2025 and how we're being set up for 2026. And in many ways, a lot of these messages that come through about how to be ourselves, how to be truly authentic, that's timeless. So whenever you find this message, is at the divine, right, perfect time for you. And I will be referring to my notes. So if I look down from time to time, that's what that's about. So Aries energy, this is I am energy. Aries is really great about showing up and being their full selves. And this is what this Aries full moon is asking us to do. We're coming off the eclipse series, eclipse season is wrapping up. And we're going to be going into a new eclipse series that starts in February 2026. We still have Saturn and Neptune in retrograde for most of the end of this year. And both of those energies together are really about us really defining who we are. We've had a lot of contacts throughout 2025 with the North Node, which is our soul's calling in the astrological chart. So most of the astrology for 2025 has been saying to me that this is all about us really getting clear on who we are, who we need to be. And this Aries full moon, since Aries is really a great representation of the self, showing up. Who am I? How do I identify? And full moons are about release. Often they're about culminations, what's coming to fruition from the past 6 months, but they can also be about what do you want to let go of? And my intuition is telling me that this Aries full moon is about inviting us to let go of old identities, identities that no longer serve us. What's probably shown up in the last 6 weeks or so for you are the identities you no longer want to hang on to, the ways of being in the world, how people perceive you, how they respond to you. You've probably had experiences or circumstances show you that this is no longer the path you want to be on. This is no longer the life you want to be leading. Often that happens during eclipses. And then the lessons or the ramifications, they unfold for the next 6 months or so. And with this Aries full moon on October 6, 2025, ask yourself, who am I now? Think about who you were at the beginning of September. And now who are you now, 6 weeks later? I've been thinking about that for myself. I've been looking at different ways, how I want to run my channel, how I want to conduct myself as an astrologer, what kind of business I want to have. And I'm going to be making some changes about how I approach that. And I'm giving myself permission to be brave because that is a very big Aries signature. Where do we need to be brave in our lives? And for me, it's about following my intuition about how I'm evolving as an astrologer, as a spiritual coach, how I want to help people, how I want to help people navigate through the world, through their lives, and just to trust the intuitions or the callings that are coming to me. And what I'm feeling, what I'm sensing with this Aries full moon is that it's an invitation to open our hearts. That if we've been closing our own heart to ourselves, if we're not honoring that quiet whisper, the dream that's percolating on the inside, then what's the point? Like, what are we doing? And I really think people are going to be feeling that energy probably a few days leading up to the full moon, maybe a couple of days afterwards. So if you're starting to feel that this week, if you're hearing little nudges on the inside asking you, am I honoring myself? What is my truth? And where am I scared to be vulnerable? Where am I scared to show up? And for me, it's doing this right now, taking a departure from the way I normally talk to folks on my YouTube channel, how I follow the astrological transits, I'm feeling the urge to move away from following that so closely and to focus more on the moon phases and more of the new moons and the full moons and a few other things. But there's so much stress and anxiety in the world today. And one of the things I've always been really great at doing for people is calming them down. People often come to me when they're in emotional distress. And this has been happening to me since I was a child. Like people have always reached out to me for emotional solace. And I am looking for a way to merge that in my path as a light bringer, as I like to call us, instead of light workers, because that's really what it feels like to me, being bringers of the light. Because there's so much darkness right now in the world, on the planet. So much is happening, so much is changing so fast. And the more I lean into what I feel are my natural strengths, my gifts, my talents, the easier life is becoming for me. And I think that's going to be true for others as well. So I want to invite you to look at where you can be more vulnerable, where you can be more authentic, where you can be more from the heart. And are you leading your purpose, your life, your business, your dream from that space, that open heart? Because there is so much happening on the planet right now where it'd be really easy to shut down, to close down. But I don't think that's the answer. We need community, we need friendships, we need relationships that sustain us, that allow us to be seen, witnessed as we truly are. And this full moon is an invitation to do that. And so if you are feeling that call, if you're hearing that call, I'm hoping that you answer it, that you follow it. And I'll tell you a brief story too. Last year, I was having a really difficult time. I was dating someone and it wasn't working out. And I went to a friend who was a lot younger than me. She's probably actually technically young enough to maybe even be my child if I'd been a teenage mom. But she's got this amazing gift at like analyzing people in romantic relationships. And I was vulnerable with her and I was honest with her about how I wasn't feeling seen in that relationship. And she gave me some really great advice, some really great questions to ask the person I was seeing at the time. And it made it very clear that that person, that the guy I was dating at the time, like he was not someone who could be there for me emotionally in the future. Not then, not in the future. And so we eventually ended that relationship. And so I just want to bring that as an example of how being vulnerable can bring you closer to other people. And me having that conversation with her, being more vulnerable with her about where I was in my romantic relationship, has made my friendship with her closer. And so that's just an example of how us being vulnerable can actually become a superpower. And so maybe there's a space either in your personal life or in your professional life where there is someone you want to be more vulnerable with, but you're scared to. And if that's the case, it may be worth the risk to be vulnerable, to open up, to give yourself permission to say, I don't have the answers. Because maybe this person can support you, or maybe they can help you find someone who can help you have those answers. Or maybe you've been working with a therapist or a healer and you've been dancing around a particular pattern or a particular issue, and you're not really fully showing up with what's not working. So you're not giving that person the space, the ability to really support you, to help move you through that transition, that difficulty. So I just wanted to start off with that and invite you to consider where that's a possibility, a place where you can open up your heart and give yourself permission to show up more fully and more freely. Because as we continue to evolve, as we go through these difficult transits, I feel like the astrology can help us navigate that. It can show us where we need to be our full selves. And it can show us where we have energetic support in that arena, which is why I like using astrology to help me not only guide how I plan my time, but also how I plan my personal and spiritual journey. I'm going to look down at my notes here. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Again, Aries is about boldness, not necessarily bravado. Um, so, like I was saying, we can be using emotional transparency as a gateway to connection and creativity. We also have a few other aspects that are also intensifying this energy, I feel. Pluto is going to be stationing direct October 13th. And so we'll probably start feeling it the first couple of weeks of October. since it's such a major planet, it affects the collective at such a deep level. And Pluto is all about deep transformations. Um, so what you've been going through maybe in the past 5, 6 months of this Pluto retrograde in terms of your relationships to your personal power, how you feel empowered, where you feel disempowered, all of those energies probably intensified in the last few weeks. And now we're going to be asked to integrate and then to externalize the results of those changes, those transformations over the next few months. So this full moon could be intensifying that energy as well. On that same day, October 6th, Mercury is going to be entering Scorpio. And so this could lead to a feeling of sharper insight. There may be some unfiltered truth telling. So as that turns, be mindful of what you say or how you express your truth. And I'll talk a little bit more about Mercury and Scorpio in a future video. I don't want to get too into that right now. And like I mentioned before, we have Saturn and Neptune retrograde. So Saturn, structure, boundaries, timekeeping, and then Neptune, our spiritual growth, our imagination. Both of them combined being retrograde, there's this dance, I feel, going back and forth between, okay, here's the vision, here's the dream, and then that's the Neptune aspect. And then Saturn is like, okay, but how are you going to bring it into form? So with both of them being retrograde, we're going to be seeing more clearly what's not working. Like if we do have a dream, a vision, a project, the roadblocks are going to be revealed so that we can move through them, so that we can transform them, so that we can come to a solution. And I think that energy is just going to continue to get heightened as we move through the end of the year. We have Uranus and Gemini, still encouraging us to rethink the way we communicate, how we use our technology, especially with AI, for good or for bad. I've been playing around with a lot of AI tools myself on the back end. I see the dangers and the risk of AI, and I also see the potential for it. And I think at the end of the day, we have to decide what role do we want to play in that journey, in that evolution. And this is going to be an ongoing question, and probably really for the rest of our lives, frankly. We're just beginning to have the conversation. And so just take it step by step, break it down, do whatever you can to make yourself more comfortable with different technologies, things that are transforming around you. What can you break down into smaller steps? And where do you need more support? And again, that vulnerability, be willing to be vulnerable. Just want to make sure there isn't anything else here. Oh, I was going to also offer a full moon ritual if you're looking for that. You can light a red or white candle. Aries is ruled by Mars, the fire element, so red can be good for that. Maybe you want to play some instrumental music that encourages movement. You could also burn dried rosemary or cinnamon for cleansing. You can ground your body, your feet flat on the floor or laying on the floor even, hands on the heart, and take 3 deep breaths. And then really reflect on what identity, who do I want to let go of being? And then you can get up and then write down on a few pieces of paper or just one piece of paper, the identities you want to release. The responsible one, the perfectionist, the overgiver, the hustler, whatever that is. Write that down and then you can burn that or throw it away, whatever feels safest to you. But that's basically it. I feel like this full moon in Aries, again, is asking us to open up our heart, to be more vulnerable, to be brave enough to be vulnerable, since Aries is all about bravery. And in that process of being more vulnerable, opening up, I do believe that that will be the path to our freedom, our authenticity, our being our true selves. And so hopefully this resonated for you. Feel free to put in the comments, full moon in Aries. Also, I wanted to remind people to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, I do have a Skool Community, also moonlifeastro is what that's called, $9 a month or $50 for the whole year. Right now I have a weekly Q&A. I'm going to be developing some other stuff for it. But it'll be really great to meet with people live, talk to folks, get their questions answered, and also just the whole space for people. This could be an opportunity for me to maybe help you move through something. So if you would like to attend, please feel free to join the community. There will be a link below. And I just want to also remind you to take care of yourself, to continue to do that. We've been going through an awful lot this year. And we're being asked to do that because we are transforming as a new human being. We are becoming new people. We are bringing on a new earth, is what I really feel. So if you are a light bringer, a creative solopreneur, a visionary, if you're drawn to my channel, if what I say speaks to you, resonates with you, I suspect you are feeling that call. I suspect you're feeling that change, that transformation, that you yourself know that you are becoming a different person. And maybe why you started the business you started, or the business that you're thinking about starting. And so honor that. Continue to hold space for yourself and find ways to support yourself to go into this new realm, this new transformation. This Aries full moon, again, is an invitation to release old identities, old walls, old defenses, to let that go so that we can show up in our true strength and to begin to magnetize the people, the circumstances to us that will support us as who we truly are, the souls we are meant to be and live on this planet, and to do it with ease and joy and with grace. And I want to hold that for you. I hold that intention for you always. Please feel free to put down any questions below in the comments, anything you'd like me to cover in this area as well. If there was a question that was sparked in this conversation with you, please let me know that as well. Sending you so much love, so much joy. Easefully yours, Darice.